What? Okay, yes, it worked. We are live. We are officially
Are we
live.
live?
I would like to.
Live.
Audio testing.
I'm not testing anything. We
Reddit
should be
died.
live.
Nice.
Or do you use words?
What do you mean Reddit died?
I opened the Reddit link and it's not there. But, it'll take a
It's
second
not there.
probably.
Meaning
Even
what? YouTube is dead.
This broadcast program is off here.
No, it's back now.
She will come back.
Okay. Let's see if we are
Let's
live
just give it
on
like 5 minutes, then we'll give the
Reddit now.
sound warning in case they hear anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Live.
I said go live. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's not gone live.
Yeah.
Well, the theme song
Same.
is still a loop for me.
Did I not switch it? Yeah, it is switched. Like, wait. Okay, wait. Can you check now? Is it like working now?
It stopped. Refreshing.
Checking.
Okay, so this is not
Also, it was-
great.
The title sequence is
still-
running at like 2 FPS. What happened?
no.
Fix your net, Audi.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's getting stuck a lot,
Oh.
bro. It's getting
Fix
stuck
your
a
net,
lot.
bro. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again.
everything is under control.
Loud.
Everything should be under control now. Are we good? Are we good? Is everything cool?
Restarting.
Still waiting.
We are back.
we're
Okay,
back.
we're here.
We are
There you go.
here.
Are we live?
Yee. Checking Reddit
Yes,
again.
yes. But we are buffering like crazy. But we are live. Yes.
Oh yeah, what? I'm not getting enough upload on OBS for some reason.
Are you still connected to Mr. Vipin by any chance?
No, Vipin hasn't been. I haven't been in contact with Mr. Vipin since the afternoon, so to
I
speak.
see.
So okay, I don't. Well, typical.
You see the table? That's not a table behind, bro. It's actually a chest of drawers, like 2 drawers.
Well, at least you didn't say it's like a fake stool or some shit like that. I don't know.
Stools
Same
tend to have
height,
a bit
right?
of height, you know.
Wow. Absolutely terrible. Okay, we should be stable and our video should be back with no problems now. I have no idea what happened. I just restarted
yeah,
the
okay.
stream and it worked.
Yeah,
Oh,
YouTube
nice.
looks pretty fine now.
Should I
Welcome,
restart
welcome,
Reddit as well?
welcome.
Or are we lagging on Reddit? I don't think so. No, we're not. Yes,
No,
welcome.
It's
Finally.
Welcome.
There, I
Diwali.
fixed it already. See, check out Reddit in I don't know how long because there's a bit of lag, but I fixed it basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
welcome to the stream, and I need to make a couple of adjustments because you guys keep moving your positions all the time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for making this easier on me. I don't know what the fuck Sid is doing, but Sid, stop doing that shit.
Hey, I'm changing my position.
Stop! I need to position you properly. Well, you're getting cut out of the vertical stream completely. I don't think that'll help your OCD, as you call it. But yeah, we are finally good to. We are not good to go. Okay, we are fine. Okay, you know what? Just give me a
Reddit
second.
seems stable. YouTube seems relatively okay. Twitch seems okay on your end.
Everything seems okay on my end. I'm going to
Then-
stop Reddit and I'm going to restart it because there seems to be a problem. But I think everyone else,
Audi, what did you do this Diwali?
I think all other streams should be good to go.
Audi, what did you do this Diwali?
This Diwali, fucking nothing. Well, there is only one thing of note, but I honestly want to save it for tomorrow. It's more of a topic meant for tomorrow anyway, so
You know, at least give me a hint now because I will be there
it
tomorrow.
involves a game, if you will.
Drugs. Oh, Squid Game. Drugs game?
Yes.
Check out our previous episode. Nice one, bro.
Yes, that was intended.
Yeah,
All along, yes. How did you know, Sid?
all along.
Diwali has been like very uninteresting for like quite a while now. Aside from like the firecrackers and whatnot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy it a lot.
Okay, I
more
was
when
kidding
a
about
kid.
the underwater
Yeah.
cables, but
Like,
okay, there is a lot of chaos going on in
Well,
where we live right now. So I don't know if that's something to do with why my net is not behaving properly.
shouldn't be.
But finally, everything seems stable.
Random
Our
fucking
mod on
rocket
YouTube
lands
asks,
on
do you
your-
do anything, any Diwali, Audi? Do you?
do you do anything,
Do you
Diwali,
anything
or
Diwali?
is what the mod is asking.
Do you do,
Do you do
anything,
anything?
any Diwali?
Hey, I used to actually. Back when I used to actually enjoy firecrackers, I would actually go out, buy a few, and sort of play along. It was fun back then. We'd
Like,
also
play
have this
along,
like
Which was your
would
favorite?
you like
one?
hold people
favorite
and
one?
stuff firecrackers into their mouths? That seemed like something you would do.
Oh yeah,
Did you
of
guys
course.
have
Yeah.
the guns?
But then we
Guns are
learned the
annoying as
technique
shit.
of not you having to use the guns. We can just buy the roll itself and sort of like press it against the ground. Yeah, pretty much.
with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
hands on the wall, also you could do
Okay,
it.
cool. Now we can start. We are going to talk about Donnie Darko today.
Okay. We will. I want to know what were your guys' favorite firecrackers.
Mine was a Lakshmi
I
bomb
don't even
because it was too
remember. I
fucking
stopped
loud.
celebrating Diwali like
I
15
hate it now, but
years
then I used to
ago.
love it back then.
Huh? That's what I'm asking.
I don't
as kids.
remember. I stopped bursting firecrackers like 15 years ago.
I like the chakra.
There was
Yes.
like a pipe
Sure.
You know, the
I
one-
do
down
like
below
the chakra.
in our garden. There's like a small metal pipe. We'd always put in like Lakshmi bombs just to like hold it far out and go boom, simulate cannons while you're in the garden.
My God.
So it
Yeah,
was
audio
fun
was
to
all
hold
kinds
on.
of fucked up. We know that now. Yeah, let's move on.
But now it
Okay.
causes headaches. Yes.
We're going to talk about Donnie Darko today.
Yes, Donnie
It's-
Darko, the 2001 film by Richard Kelly, and the 2004 director's cut also by
Yeah.
Richard Kelly.
Okay, so if anyone has
Yes.
not watched the director's cut, I would suggest you go watch it because the director's cut is beautiful. Talks about a lot of different things that isn't talked about in the non-director's cut and makes the movie a little bit more
It explains it
understandable.
more.
But
You know, a lot of people. Yes, tell me.
Sid and I have already watched this movie before, and Audie saw it
Yes.
for the first time today. So we will be starting out with Audie's overall thoughts, and then I have a lot of screenshots for a scene-by-scene comparison and talking
boy.
about whatever we need to do. Also, Sid's Fable is here. Hello. He says bonjour. I will
what
not
up?
speak in French, but hello. Irashaimase.
Do you know a lot of people prefer the theatrical version to the director's cut?
Well, I mean, if it makes... are these people like elitists saying like, haha, you don't really understand the movie, bro?
No, there are lots of reasons. I'll like remind me to go into this once you start speaking, because like the first image also has something to do with it. You know, the
Okay.
screenshot you have on here.
Yes.
So we'll hear Audie's thoughts first, then I'll go into why.
Sure. Audie, what are your thoughts about Donnie Darko in general? What did you think of the movie? Without any spoilers right away, like just give us an
Yeah.
overall, what is your experience like?
Yes.
It was
Your
a very,
experience.
very interesting first-hand experience of what a schizophrenic feels or schizophrenic sees, probably.
Mhm.
Like I don't exactly know what goes on in their heads, and every time I've heard something about a schizophrenic, it's like they see the world in like different shapes and different colors, or they see things that we don't tend to see. So him having these visions, him having these images, so to speak, like that also speak to him at the same time. It's sort of a surreal experience in and of itself, but very interesting movie. I liked it. I felt bad for Donnie towards the end, but let's just say his fate was better than most cases.
I'm a little suspicious of that sentence. But
I
for
don't
those
get
of you
your
who
thoughts
are
on the
here,
whole film.
Huh?
Are those your thoughts on the whole film?
Well, I thought you said without any spoilers. We'll get into
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
You didn't talk about it, what you felt, what you thought about. Just talked about what the film is, or what you thought the film was.
Well, yeah, I didn't really look too deep into it. I just felt it was.
So did you like it? Did you not like it? Like you didn't give your
I did say I liked it. Yeah, I said I liked it.
Hmm.
It was a nice. There is a looming intensity of murder going all over the place. So to see all that crumble in the end and just see that it's all inside his head all along, and he could have just probably prevented it out in his own head itself, but he didn't. It was kind of sad to watch, and that's a
I
feeling
think
you
Audie
don't.
misunderstood the movie.
Yeah, or he did totally
Yeah,
misunderstand.
again, I'm not a
But
very.
That's okay. Let him speak.
I'm not
his
a very
mind.
big brain
Yeah.
movie watcher, so what can I do? But yes, these are my opinions. A nice movie.
No, I mean it's a very confusing movie. If nobody gets it at the first watch, but you seem to have gone in a completely different direction than
Yeah, very different.
and I did in my first watch at least. But yeah, for those of you who are watching, Donnie Darko is not a movie about a schizophrenic person. Don't worry. And if you have
Yeah, it's
watched
not,
it, you
yeah.
can join in on the discussion and tell us what we got right and what we got wrong anytime you want.
These
But
are
yeah, Audie, basically,
resident Donnie Darko experts over here. They're gonna break down everything detail by detail. Like every frame under the sun is gonna be like fucking analyzed to the core.
I watched
the
the
fucking
movie. I
bone.
think back to back. Okay,
They're gonna
because
do
I
such
didn't.
a deep analysis. Jake Gyllenhaal is gonna be like, yo, hello, don't go too deep into this movie. No.
Hey, that's why you come to the Droogs, am I right?
Yep. So basically, this is what's going to happen every episode. We do a movie. Audie's going to be telling us that we look
Yeah,
too
Audie's
deep into
gonna
things,
be-
and
Yes.
we are going to
Yeah.
be
Hey, it's not a bad thing.
fulfilling
to do
fulfilling that idea of his. But yeah, it's not a bad thing, of course, because this is a movie which requires a lot of
Beautiful
thought,
thing.
and it's quite a mind fuck when you watch it. But yeah, so, okay, Sid, I'm going to flip the table on you today. Tell people what Donnie Darko is for those who haven't seen it.
So Donnie Darko basically, according to the
If you read out the synopsis from some site, I'm going to mute
no,
right here.
I'm not reading out the
Oh,
synopsis.
okay,
I don't
cool.
have the synopsis anywhere. I'm just looking at our stream if there are questions and stuff because I have
Okay.
it here.
Yeah.
Well, Donnie Darko
I'll keep an eye.
is a film about a boy who goes into a tangential universe.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. You're going to get into the nitty gritty right away. Huh? Okay, basically, Donnie Darko is a story about a guy, and he seems to have a lot of visions and hallucinations and so on, and nobody is able to figure out why. And he keeps seeing this giant bunny rabbit, and it's all about how he stops this all from happening. There, I think that's a short.
This
All
what
the
was
hallucinations and the
happening.
bunny rabbit coming up in front of him. That's like a spoiler-free, nothing too deep.
So you
Yes.
really think it's a whole separate universe thing? It's not just some things he's seeing.
It's not schizophrenia. So it's manifested itself like it shows symptoms of paranoid schizophrenia, but it's for the other people in that universe when they are listening to what he says. But for him himself, it's a completely different thing over there. But okay, you know what? Are we going to go scene by scene, or should we just discuss the ending, because we could probably go on for a couple of hours just with the ending?
You can do a
talk about
general.
the general this thing of the whole film, and
You
then
don't
we
have
can
to
go
go
scene by scene.
because seeing as how both of you want to jump into the nitty gritty.
Fuck, we want to go scene by scene.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
can go scene by scene right away. Then why do a general description? So just begin with it.
No, not right away. But yeah, bro, initially, after, you said, what did you think about it? Because you did yell at me for suggesting the film after watching it.
because I got completely mind fucked with it afterwards, and I was not very happy about it because I was let's just say I'm never in a good mental space, and then
And you were avoiding watching films, and after a while,
Yeah.
that's the first one.
That's
you
kind
saw.
of the case even now. But yeah.
Sid is like, oh yeah, Kubrick, watch it, and then I got depressed, and then Sid's like, oh yeah, I know how you can feel better about that. Watch Donnie Darko, and then I got even more depressed, and well, that's my life apparently. I get depressed with movies. But here is okay. Let's go picture by picture a little quickly and then discuss the whole thing because we have a lot to explain to Audi.
Yeah, wait, the beginning scene. Can I talk about the first
Oh, yeah,
scene
sure.
first? So the opening scene.
Also,
right?
one sec. I'm just putting up a photo with the initial curse word where they're like, did you just call me a
I
fuck
love
ass?
that
So
shit. Fuck ass. A fuck ass, a suck and fuck.
yeah. So I have anyway, you can talk about the first scene. Go on.
Yeah. So the opening shot of the movie, like where he's cycling through the town.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good scene. Like the music for the theatrical cut and the director's cut is different.
Oh.
And in the theatrical cut they use this song called The Killing Moon, which is like really good, and a lot of people like that song a lot because of that scene, and they really like that scene because of how it went with the song, and because of that a lot of people prefer the theatrical cut because of the opening shot compared to the director's cut, because he changed the song in the director's cut. But even I prefer the song in the theatrical cut. I do enjoy it more, I'll say. But as a whole movie, I like the director's cut more. And also, a lot of people like the theatrical cut because it's serious, they say. So what do you think about that, bro? Because we like it more because we understand. But
one sec, Audi, is it lagging for you?
Where?
Or am I lagging? I'm not sure.
Sid is lagging for me, yeah. On stream, right?
Okay, so basically I can see Audi's video just fine, but Sid, your video is getting a little cut every time.
Hello.
Okay, one sec. Guys, sorry about the problems. There just seems to be some internet issue which is going on here. I should be good to go now. Yeah, okay. No, I can see, Audi, I can see your video really clearly on OBS, but Sid's video is very... Yeah, I can hear you now, but Sid's video is very blurry on OBS for some reason. I'm not sure why that is.
That it is delayed for me as well.
It's clear over here.
Like on our video Ninja, it'll always be clear, but then on stream, there's always some fuckery happening.
Well, long distance podcast, this is the problem. Anyway, you can go on, Sid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people also prefer the theatrical version because of the open-endedness and the mystery for them to guess and imagine,
Well, the director's cut also leaves things very open-ended for a lot of people. Like, Audi got a completely different idea than either of us did.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Well, see, I didn't think it would be
pretty straightforward.
If it is actually all about this thing, like a parallel universe that only Donnie Darko can say, then yes, that the meaning does come through directly. But then we think from like all, or at least most humans anyways, think from like a more normal perspective of things. So they think that he's just seeing shit. He's just the giant bunny rabbit is just another one of his visions that are just convincing him to poke and prod in the right places. Like, I don't know, yeah, sure, you could pass it off as like this thing, but then the more logical solution or logical explanation for anyone would be that he's just seeing shit, and even I think they give a red herring with the psych. She says that this is like these are like positive symptoms of schizophrenia, or like common symptoms in schizophrenics, paranoid schizophrenic. So we assume that right away, okay, she said it's like schizophrenia, so like we associate directly, like, oh, okay, he's crazy, that's why he's seeing shit, right? So
hey, you're crazy.
Essentially, but like the idea is that most people will perceive and take the bait right away.
I think Audi saw it like one of the people in the town, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Like that's how Audi saw the film. Like Audi saw him like the other people saw him.
No, like like in the beginning,
based on what you're saying, that's what I'm thinking about.
They do show a lot of shit, like the book, and like him seeing these weird images, him interacting with the mirror.
Philosophy of Time Travel, right? That book.
Rosetta Sparrow, by Grandma Death. So like they show a lot of these things happen, and in the beginning we don't really associate it with anything. We just think that Donnie Darko is this special kid and he just sees things differently, but then we don't really directly associate it with schizophrenia until the psychologist herself says that it's a common symptom. So then if people do take up on that bait, then
does she ever say schizophrenia directly, or does she just say
she says that
something
it's like common symptoms in many cases
Not
of
in the
paranoid
beginning, yeah.
schizophrenia. Not in the very
She
beginning.
tells their parents.
Mhm.
She tells their parents.
Which I thought was a very
thing.
dick move, by the way, all things considered. But I think
No, but doesn't she say that he's just losing grasp on reality and all that? Does she say the word schizophrenia?
she does.
She says it, yes.
She does.
Okay.
She says
the
that
word
he has a
schizophrenia.
growing detachment from reality. He has a growing detachment
Yeah.
from reality, and that he tends to see these things that make him detach as a threat, and he tends to see the normal world around him also as a threat. So that all that, and then him saying that he committed all the crimes and everything else is like common things for this thing, schizophrenia. That's what she says, anyways. So I think like the people kind of hook onto that very easily. People want to look for an explanation for Donnie Darko, so they take that shit right away, and that's why it feels like it's like him just seeing shit randomly. And that's why I also, like, in the beginning, that's why I said his schizophrenia went so far ahead that he literally walked through time itself, saw shit like 7 months beforehand, and is like, okay, this thing is gonna happen now, so I might as well just end it all right here.
You think his schizophrenia made
No,
him
his
time
schizophrenia
travel?
didn't make him time travel,
not the
like
film.
properly time travel. It's just that he was able to conjure up images strong enough that he could see shit into the future. It's like the whole oracle this thing, right, that most Greeks and everything had.
Wait,
Like,
but what do you think of the ending there, based on what you're saying? Because the ending won't make
no,
sense.
the ending
right?
does make sense that way, because he just manages to see a vision of the world ending at the end of the month, like people dying because as a result of his own actions, or people getting caught as a result of his own action, and him seeing that the thingy, he knew that this thing, a jet turbine was going to hit the house at one point in time. So he just thought, okay, it's going to hit now. I'm just going to let it happen. Why bother?
Okay, but how do you
I'm
think he did
confused.
that? Okay, you know what? Let's discuss this later. But basically, just a couple of things that I wanted to point out at the start, which is like, I don't know if people consider this a little. See, your video is like going crazy over here. I have no idea why.
I don't
I've
know.
refreshed it
Yeah.
twice. But yeah, okay. I will refresh you again. Okay. Okay. Basically,
so, quick question.
the dialogue
Should we
here is like
put,
so weird.
Should we put like derogatory language on the screen? Does that flag us?
Sure, fuck it.
Yeah, okay. Like he's literally saying "sucker fuck." Like I've never heard that before in my life.
I love that dialogue. It's one of my favorite dialogues. That conversation in the beginning.
Everyone laughs at that.
Yeah. And the thing is,
Fuck
like,
ass.
yeah, and the thing is, like, it sounds like something teenagers with no idea of what the fuck they're doing might say, right? It like you just come up with the most creative shit you can to call the other person some.
Oh,
Not even
dude.
creative. I think he's
Random
just like
word.
grasping at whatever insult comes first, and like sucker fucker. He like mixes up two insults that he had in mind.
Yeah, what I'm really surprised of is this next picture, which is where the youngest sister is like, "What's a fuck ass?" I'm surprised that they let anyone at all like let a
And
kid
the
say
dad
that
was, like,
laughing. Yeah.
That scene was amazing.
And there's also the time that I have okay, you know what, I have a lot of fucking screenshots here, but there's also the time where he later on in the movie he tells the teacher that she should shove the thing she give pamphlet up her own ass or something.
Up her
And,
ass, yes.
Yeah, and okay,
Yo,
we
that
can.
shit was, yeah, those are some good lines.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if people like the lines or if they think it's not great, or if they do love it. I'm not sure, but I definitely
I would
love
be
that
like,
whole
it's funny.
conversation a lot.
Yeah. I love whenever, even the Cunningham guy on stage, when like Donnie Darko just like,
Yeah,
Straight up calls him the fucking
shits
antichrist.
all over him. Yeah, and then this is like a
And in
really
those times, like, it's based in the 80s, right? And in the 80s, calling someone like the Antichrist was like crazy. Like, that was like, oh my god, like, how can you even utter those words?
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay,
So it was pretty dumb.
so we have the eye shot. Sid, any thoughts here? Anything you want to point out?
Yeah, so this shot, actually, if you remember, Bru, do you remember the theatrical version?
No, I haven't watched the theatrical version. I've only seen the director's cut.
Oh, you
Yeah.
So in the director's cut, I shot. You also later you have the silhouette of Frank, right?
Oh yeah.
They show that in the director's cut as well.
Yeah.
Afterwards, like he
Yeah,
keeps popping
in
up
the
later.
theatrical version, you
Oh,
don't.
okay.
Yeah, you don't have the silhouette of
I see.
Frank in the
Oh,
eye
I
shot.
see.
Wow. Okay,
That's
also
a
Forest
very
Dance on
interesting-
YouTube here. So he asked, why so many podcasts? Dude, you're literally the most excited person for the movie series, and this is the
Because
first one
you
you're
love
joining in. And also, Sid's camera has been destroyed. Never mind, it's back. Yeah, something's wrong with all our nets today.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's. I don't know
That's
what's.
Yeah, but-
interesting that they don't show the face or the impression of Frank in the theatrical cut, because in we see that Darko has a drawing of the eye as well, right?
This is the
the
first
skull and-
time. This is the first time I think that he hears his voice, right, bro?
Yeah,
If I'm
and
wrong.
also,
This is the first
no,
time.
the
he
other
heard
thing I
Frank's
wanted to
voice,
mention was that
and he wakes up to.
whenever these eye shots come up later in the movie as well, they signify something. Usually there's water or fire or the something. So it signifies
So
what,
that way,
it signifies each thing changes with his current position in where he is in this life, and it actually shows what's to come in the next part of the movie.
Yeah, and also visions related to it. Like for the first one, you
Yeah,
had
of
like
course,
the
yeah.
water with the the building, the clouds. You know that like very
Yeah.
surrealist like scene, right?
I like
Yeah.
that scene, by the way. That looked very painting-esque
And
almost.
also one thing I realized in the director's cut, like there's like whenever they show Frank, right, there's like this buzzing sound, like in the background, which is not there in the theatrical cut.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
the
so
buzzing
that- I
sound
think
comes for
that
like
makes it
a lot
cooler.
of things, not just Frank. There are a lot of things that
No, but
have
whenever
that
they
buzzing
sound, like
sound.
this electronic, like buzzing sound, this ominous, like I noticed that.
Yeah, that comes with all his visions as well. Like every time he
Yeah,
has an episode, it shows up as And also, this is where he first sees Frank, and Frank is talking to him, and he says the 28 days and of how many hours I don't even remember. 8 hours, something like that. Yeah, but basically, this is
Where
what.
it's written on his like hand for the first time, right?
Yeah. So this is what starts off the whole thing, and
Yeah, this would make most people go like, "What the fuck? What the fuck am I watching?"
Yeah.
Right at this point.
yeah, because like even the costume is also designed really well.
Yeah.
And it's like you just feel that weird sense of dread when you look at Frank's costume. You're just like, what
Exactly.
the fuck is this? And okay, just another quick run by through another photo on the screenshot here. So we have all the other three kids sitting in the hotel room, and already this is like one of the things that it's like a clue. So this
There's another funny line here, but yeah, anyways.
What
the
happened to the plane? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so-
They never really answered that as well, right?
yeah, they don't. They're just like, we can't tell you. So the engine or the turbine did fall. What is it called? I don't know. I just call
It's
it.
a
I just call
turbine.
it.
It's
Okay, it's
an
a turbine,
engine.
cool.
It's an engine.
The engine turbine. Let's go.
Yes. So it falls, but there's nothing known about the plane, and you don't hear a plane before the crash
Yes.
either. And even if that happened, there's no way to figure out how it came crashing down in the first place. Like, how did only one part of it tear off and crash down? So there are like a lot of little clues sprinkled in through the movie, which help you figure out what is actually going on over there. And there is a photo here as well, which is like, I think the next scene where the parents are sleeping in the room, and they're talking about
Also, in
somebody.
the previous scene, he tells his sister, "I'll fart in your face."
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh, of course, you love that fucking line. Of course, you do.
But yes, this.
Yeah, but in the next scene, they talk about this person who died when they were young, when they were in high school, and they
Yes.
say they could be saying the same thing about Donnie, which is like they could be saying the same thing about our child who almost died but didn't die, and then it's like
Yes.
wink, 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 ending, haha. They're just being a
Exactly.
little. I felt like they've been cheeky with the story the whole time because of how much they could show, how much they could just
Yeah,
put in as a
definitely.
reference to the ending, which most people won't get until they have a second watch
The ending
or something.
and the beginning, like the beginning and
Yeah,
the
that's
ending.
true.
The beginning
They-
is the ending. The ending is the beginning. So
Yeah, that's true.
they could be very cheeky with it. Yeah.
And yeah, it's very fresh to see, or at least it was. Maybe a lot
It
more
was
people
fresh.
do that now with open endings, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Like everyone looks back at any series or movie they watch and they can get a lot of inferred meanings. But for me, when I first watched this, I was like, holy shit, he said it. He actually said it. Damn. And it actually fucking happens in the end. So it's
Yeah, like,
really,
there was
really,
a lot
really
of
interesting.
foreshadowing in the
A
in the
lot.
film. Like they give a
Like,
lot of clues. Yeah, it's
I'm not even
throughout.
kidding. Half my pictures are just foreshadowing. Even this next one,
Yeah.
he's like, they say when they flood the house, when they tear it to shreds. Like this happens
Yeah.
right before he floods the school.
Yeah.
So it's not even like subtle after a point. You know, if you
it's
watch
not
the
even
movie
subtle.
fully and then you remember dialogue like this, you're like, yeah, you're
Every
just
other piece of dialogue is like a premonition. It's just so anything
Yeah,
he says is bound to happen at some point.
yeah. And there are okay. I'm not going to go through all the portals because I really want to talk about the ending since Audi didn't get the
Yes, yes.
what
yes.
we wanted him to get. But yeah, so basically, Donnie also asked, follow Frank where? And the psychiatrist asked Donnie where he should follow Frank. And he's like, to the future. And then you have another eyeball shot, but now with water in it. And then you have a
With the water.
image of the school hallway completely flooded with water. And then the next scene is where they put the axe into the mascot. And basically, a lot of fucked up things happen, and we need to explain it to Audi as this goes on. So let's just explain it first and then show the photos. I think that'll be better.
let's do that.
Okay, so Audi, basically, I will tell you how what actually happens. Okay, so basically, there are two universes, so to speak, in the Donnie Darko universe. Okay, like two different realities,
Yeah, you
basically,
can
that
say
are going
yeah.
on. So there are two parallel realities, and what happens is the airplane engine falling down becomes the trigger for a different universe, like a tangent universe. So you have the
Yeah.
main universe here, and then you have a tangent universe that starts because the engine falls into the house. And
If you've seen like time travel stuff,
Oh, yeah,
they
there
always
was a
say
mention
you need an
of-
amount of energy, right, to open the rift or
Yeah,
whatever to
yeah,
go
yeah.
Yeah.
You
into
need
another
water
dimension.
and metal in order to open
Yeah,
a
those were the
portal.
clues throughout, but like if you even see like any time travel stuff, they say you need like some kind of energy to open the rift or anything, right? And so that turbine crashing was, the
I
opening
see.
portal, so to say, to the other world. To
There
the
was also a
tangential
point where they
universe,
did
as
say
call
that
it.
ever so it is a very rare occurrence, but it does happen like once every now and then. It's like two universes can collide, so to speak, but the requirements for those to happen are very specific in that they need water and metal in order to open the portal, and there are all these entities that sort of interact with both these realities at the same time, but they don't realize it themselves.
no, so they don't interact with both the realities at the same time. So while a tangent universe opens
Yeah,
up,
they don't.
the main universe, or what is it called? I forgot what it's called. Sid, what is it called? You have the tangent universe and you have the primary universe. Yeah. So the primary universe is put at a pause. Like everything pauses in the primary universe, and the tangent universe plays out whatever it plays out.
Yeah.
And
it's like time is different, right, for both.
Yeah.
So like 1 second here, maybe like million years, like it's like that, Audi.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
interesting.
the thing is, the tangent universe is not a universe that can stay stable for long, since it's not the
It's very
primary one. It's
unstable.
created because of a
Yeah.
rift, and that is exactly why Frank has this time he's put up, like 28
Yes.
days and these many hours
Yeah,
and these
that's-
many minutes and these many seconds, blah, blah, blah. All that is because that's how long the tangent universe will take to completely collapse onto itself.
So that's what he means by the world will end.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the world
And-
will end.
Yeah, and throughout the movie, like you have the chapter divisions, right? Like those help you understand, because like also in the theatrical version, bro, they don't have the chapters.
Yeah, of course they don't have the chapter. I know that's the
Yeah.
that's the major difference between the
Yeah, that's the major
director's
difference.
cut and not the director's cut. Yeah.
So here that makes it much easier to understand, what's happening, because they talk about these different aspects in the like the artifact and the what was he
manipulated.
called? No, what was he called?
The
Yeah,
living
we'll get to that.
receiver. The living receiver.
The
Yeah.
living receiver, yeah. And so this helps us understand, what's going on more when they talk about the living receiver needs to return the artifact and you have the manipulated living and the manipulated dead.
Hey, you're
For the
running
first
way
time-
too ahead. You're running like way too ahead. We
No,
need
no,
to
no, no.
explain.
I'm keeping up.
The
I'm keeping
clues
up.
that
I know
explain.
because
Yeah,
I
but I'm saying
saw
let's
these
go
things, right?
part by part instead of
Okay,
directly
let's go
going
part by
into
part.
that part, so that it's like easier to understand for anybody who's watching, if not only Audi. But yeah, so basically the artifact is the only thing that's not the same as the primary universe. So the tangent universe starts because of the artifact, and of course you have the different things that happen where this one goes on pause, the primary universe goes on pause, tangent universe needs to collapse onto itself safely or unsafely. Unsafely means it destroys existence apparently, and safely means that they can stop it without having any repercussions going to the primary universe. And yeah, then we have Donnie, who is the living receiver. And so the old woman, Roberta, one sec, somebody on
Yes.
Reddit says, which part of Bangladesh is this? We're not in Bangladesh, we're from India. But yeah, so the living receiver is basically chosen at random. There is no reason that Donnie was chosen as a living receiver. He was just chosen at random, basically.
At random, because
Yeah.
he was there at that point.
But
Yeah, and
what chose him in the end? Did the universe?
yeah, that is talked about more towards the end of the whole thing. But what happens is that it is heavily implied that Roberta Sparrow was a living receiver at some point in her life, because she had a
Yes.
complete change from being a nun to like completely turning around and
yeah.
going into science and stuff, and actually writing a book which explains all this, which heavily implies that she was a part of something in her day, and she managed to survive it, and she managed to close the tangent universe without too much trouble. And that's where like this is where like things start getting very interesting for the whole thing,
Yeah.
because now he's a living receiver. Sorry, yeah. He's a living receiver, but you don't know
yes.
why the fuck he's a living receiver or what his job is as a living receiver. But now you start to understand, okay, his job is to basically
Yeah,
close
the
out
book
the
helps
universe properly, and the book is there to help him. And in the
Yeah.
book, it's you have powers. Like the living receiver gets certain powers. So you get great strength, you get control over fire and water, you get mind control.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, and
kind of thing,
telekinesis. Yeah. So these are the different powers that he has, and they also are exactly what happens through the movie, but they come at the cost of having hallucinations.
Yes. Well, that's also supposed to be like a power. Like
Well,
that he
not
gets,
exactly, because he does hallucinate a lot of things that get him more fucked up instead of like actually guiding him towards the goal
Isn't-
necessarily.
Yeah,
Like
isn't
that's more
Frank
like
also essentially has a hallucination?
That's the thing. So he's a different entity completely. So then there come in two more types of entities. One is the manipulated living, in which the person is alive in the tangent universe, but they are subtly guiding Donnie onto his path, onto his role, and to fulfill whatever he's done. So these include like his teachers. It includes. Oh, by the way, do you know Seth Rogen was in the movie? Adi?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. You recognized
I
him. I didn't
noticed.
recognize him my first watch, very honestly.
Actually, even I recognize him my first watch.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
so
was like,
basically,
goddamn.
so his teachers, his parents, his the pastor dude, Jim Cunningham, all these people, even Roberta Sparrow, all these people are manipulated living. So they basically guide Donnie on his path, but in subtle ways, not directly. And then you have the manipulated dead. So basically, anybody killed in the tangent universe is a manipulated dead. So they are. This is like best made out to be Frank, because he's a manipulated dead. He's actually dies in the end, but he comes back as the manipulated dead to guide Donnie directly on his path. He literally tells him what to do.
See, what about the girl
So
then? The girl is also manipulated dead by that logic.
Yeah, so she is also a manipulated dead, but her path is like getting Donnie into that mind frame, into that, changing him basically from what he is to get to the goal where he has to be. But it's a lot less obvious than Frank, because Frank is literally like, yo, go kill people, go burn down that shit. And this woman is just asking questions like, hey, what about this? Do you think this is like that? So they're both guiding him, just in a more subtle and more obvious way.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, and also there's a thing where so the movie, right? Then they're watching the movie. She falls asleep and she wakes up right after Donnie comes back. He does
back
all the
from
shit he
burning.
leaves to do, and then he comes back, and she's like, "Well, I'm awake now. What's up? What did I miss?" So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
that's
same
one of
with
the reasons people think she's part of the manipulated dead. And also they give no like at some point there's no choice that the living receiver has but to complete the tangent universe's closing down. So she puts him in a position like that with her death, and even the way she talks to him, all of that pushes him in a certain way. Now if you
Yes.
I have some examples for the manipulated living over here. So the pastor guy comes in, he gives him a long speech, and then Donnie Darko calls in the Antichrist. He goes back, and then he gets pissed off with him, and he wants to burn down his house, and Frank encourages him to burn down his house. So because he
Yeah.
burns down the house, he gets revealed as a pedophile, and because of that, the other woman, the woman who's teaching his lessons in school, she has to go to court to like help him and be his support
Yeah.
and lead the charge to get him innocent, to get him
And that
proclaimed
causes
innocent. That causes his
mother
mom to go to Los
there.
Angeles or Vegas somewhere. She goes somewhere with the whole
Los
group,
Angeles,
Sparkle
yeah.
Motion. And because of that, they're on the way. They're coming back on the way,
On the way
and also
back,
because
yeah.
because she's gone, and because the dad is gone on a previous business meeting or business whatever. There is a party being held at the house, which then causes Donnie to go into all that stuff. So basically, everything is
Yes.
like interdependent. Everything starts coming one after the other, and it all sets
Everything
into
starts
place.
coming together, yeah. And even when you see the turbine falling, or do you remember through the typhoon
Yeah.
scene, if you remember, yeah. So that was from the same plane that her mom was coming back from.
No, like, I thought that was part of, or like that signified the end of that universe itself when the turbine did fall. I was also wondering that like something fell from the sky, but it wasn't looking. It didn't seem like it was the plane. It didn't look like a plane. Anyways, like, oh, what the fuck is that? They're like, that's the turbine falling out of the sky.
Yeah, well, Audie's mind is like getting blown slowly over here. It
Yeah,
feels like.
mine is like, what is this the same movie that I saw with these guys? What the fuck are they saying?
Yeah. Also, the English teacher tells Gretchen, the girl, to sit next to the
Yeah.
cutest boy in class for no fucking reason at all.
Yeah,
And then
no
she ends
reason,
up
yeah.
she ends up seating her next to Donnie anyway. And she also, when she gets fired, she writes cellar door. And she's like,
Cellar
oh,
door.
that is supposed to be the most beautiful word in.
Linguists, yes.
Yes, linguists say that it's the most beautiful thing ever. But then in the end, he literally goes through a cellar door because he remembers
Yeah.
that. And
Do
so
you know
all this.
about the Gretchen, the fan theory that Gretchen is Grandma Death.
What?
Really? What?
Yeah. So apparently, it comes with the getting hit by the car thing. Because apparently they say when Gretchen was hit by the car, she got stuck in a time loop. Because
see.
they show Grandma Death also almost being hit by the car many times, and
Yeah.
trying to avoid it. Because
Yeah.
of that, they're saying like, Grandma Death is just Gretchen who's been stuck in a time loop for like a long, long, long time.
Oh my god. But then if she was in a time loop, she should never get old.
Yeah, exactly. And also, they saw each other, like,
Yeah.
Gretchen and Grandma Death, right? So that's why that didn't make sense to me.
Also,
Yeah.
Grandma Death was also supposed to be a nun her past lives. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
exactly.
Gretchen's upbringing kind of comes into play over there.
Yeah, there were some theories where people were like, yeah, they're the same person. I think it was related to the younger picture of Grandma Death that someone saw, but they look different to me even in
Yeah,
the
they look
old
very
picture.
different.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways.
Yeah. And then then the next thing is there's a theory that is not confirmed, but there's a theory that the tangent universe is a continuous loop. I think most people agree with this theory as far as I know.
Yeah.
So basically, Donnie wakes up in the middle of nowhere at the start, right? At the start of the tangent universe, he's in the middle of nowhere. So that probably means that the last attempt at closing down the time loop, the tangent universe, was not successful, and he ended up waking up to it again. So it's basically a
Yeah.
loop until he manages to close it normally.
Close it.
But then things like there's also official canon text saying that if it doesn't get closed in a few weeks, it will suck itself into it and become a black hole, sucking all of reality into it. So I'm not really sure if the time loop thing is correct, but that is one of the big theories over
So
there.
he knows then. So he knows all of the shit that's
That's the
happening
thing.
around
You
him,
you
essentially.
don't know if
Not us. He
yeah,
knows.
he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
He
He
doesn't
comes
know.
with some memory, but not with full memory of what is going on.
That explains like weird smiles every now and then, because he always looks at certain points and he smiles as if he remembers certain, like, shit's happening and then fuck, I feel like I've seen this before. God damn. He has that weird fucking uncanny smile going on about him every single time, and maybe that explains that. Yeah, he like, it doesn't look like he knows the whole situation that is happening, but he does have bits of memory every now and then.
Yeah, that's basically is what people think, because he has a lot of weird reactions to a lot of different things that he shouldn't, and it's just like, why are you, as you said, why are you smiling like that? It's just weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of things give it up. I think the experience that Audie had, is the fucked up, like, he was schizophrenic guy, like, on the surface, but
yeah, like you don't
look into
buy
it
the whole
crazy.
parallel universe thing, because obviously it was like it's either parallel universe or
after you see the end, you do, right?
After I see the end,
we'll explain more. There are a few more things. So, Audie, you thought it was schizophrenia, right? But here's the thing. On one of the texts is written that the living receiver gets a better understanding of things, and he has more. Wait, what is the? Let me see if I can just find the text real quick.
No,
but basically,
that's
what
what I'm saying. Based
is
on
needed.
The text, it says he gets like premonitions, which that's why I said it's supposed to be one of his superpowers. And that's what some people are like, oh yeah, that must be like the thing. What his hallucinations are? They're the premonitions that are telling him about what he needs to do in the tangential universe.
And but water is supposed to be a very important thing for this whole thing.
Metal. Water and metal.
And water is basically what he gets from his psychiatrist. She literally says, I gave you placebo pills.
Goddamn.
And it's filled with water, if you remember. So she gave it thinking that he was faking things, and that is what made him crazier in everybody's eyes, because the water literally helped him connect with all these supernatural stuff going on over here,
I see.
And there's also another thing. So if he was just so schizophrenic, he's never seen the Frank bunny suit before. But if you think about how he was, remember he was stabbing a knife into the mirror trying to get at Frank. Did you realize that he was trying to stab his eye in the same place he got shot?
Right eye, pretty much.
It was the same place he got shot.
There was even the part after the whole thing happened, where the manipulated living were sensed as if something had occurred to them, or sensed as if they were part of something, but they don't really remember it as such.
Yeah,
and
so
Frank
that's also explained in one of the texts over there.
Frank was shown holding onto his eye as well in the...
That's actually a beautiful scene, because the camera moves from left to right, and as it moves out of frame, he just puts his hand up.
I was like, did he just fucking hold onto his eye over there? Like,
so that's another thing. All the manipulated dead and the manipulated living, because if you see the end, Gretchen is like waving to his mom. She should have no idea who she is. Basically. But what happens is that they basically have some memories. They don't really have memories, but they have like some
from the tangent universe.
Some, like,
people seem familiar
before she says no, because she's like.
So wait, because the tangent universe has been closed, it kind of collapsed itself on the primary universe, and
no, it collapses itself safely, and the primary universe is not affected.
Primary universe.
No,
is
but
fine.
it's not affected, but then they still have fragments, right? They still feel as if there's like some sort of connection.
It said that
between each other.
The people in the primary universe, once the tangent universe is closed down, they'll have severe emotional reactions to it. That's why if the whole ending is about how each person is reacting to things.
The whole ending is because of that, what happened to the tangential universe.
Basically.
Interesting.
And so this, like, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. John Cunningham. That's his name. Joe Cunningham. Whatever.
Jim.
Whatever. Mr. Cunning, yeah.
Cunning.
Yes, Mr. Cunning. So that's why he's weeping, because he's already seen
Yeah,
what happens to him in life. He's seen that in the
Life,
tangent
yeah.
universe. So he's weeping and he's regretting whatever happened over there. And finally, the person orchestrating everything is thought to be God himself, because first Donnie says they made me do it. When he
Yeah,
destroys
but
the
he-
water main, he says they made me do it.
Even
And-
in the this that he's having with like the professor in college, like the argument,
Yeah.
he talks about how things are certain and the future because of if you follow like God's set path, right?
Yeah.
But the guy's like, no, I can't argue with you about this. He's taking a more scientific route. To
Yeah,
it.
and he also says that he does talk about the point smartly, which is like, okay, you know what,
Yeah.
it doesn't work, because if your God has already done this and you know that that's what's going to happen, then you can change your destiny.
Yeah.
So that's a very logical answer, but Donnie is like, no, not if you are in God's channel. Click, click.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
There was a point in the movie where they showed they made me do it bit. It had a very unique handwriting on the text, and that handwriting also comes up later in the Halloween party, where they show the plaque on the fridge, the whiteboard marker that they write on every now and then. On that plaque, they show Frank's writing on there again, saying he went out for getting beers in
Yep,
that same
maybe
handwriting.
that is a
So
thing. I don't
was he
remember the
a part
handwriting.
of-
Even I don't remember the handwriting.
That's one thing I noticed. Like the handwriting in the whiteboard was the same as the handwriting in the "They Made Me Do It" bit. I was wondering, like, if because he said they made me do it, I was like, was he in on this thing by any chance? Like,
Wait, but
was
it
the real
same?
Frank
Because-
behind the person putting the axe in the mascot in any way? Because
No. Donnie gets superhuman strength when he is when he's the living receiver. So he is the one who put the axe. But it's
He's the
possible
one-
that he didn't.
So then is it
He changed
possible
his
that he
handwriting while
sees-
talking, I guess, while type or while painting. I guess I don't know.
I
It's a
don't know.
possibility.
Because he
And-
even has a unique art style when it comes to drawing the bunny mascot's face as well, right? So yeah, he has that weird squiggly art style that's going on about him. So he probably incorporates that into his writing itself, or maybe
Maybe.
Donnie Darko just saw the handwriting as
Yeah, I mean,
Frank's
either way,
handwriting.
even if it was Frank telling him what to do, Donnie has to do it. Frank is not a living entity in that sense. He's still alive, right? In the tangent universe, he's still alive. He's not dead yet, so he can't be guiding Donnie yet technically. So that's where
in the ending also you see, right, like with the drawings of
Yeah.
and the actual mask over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
They even-
what else? Huh? Sorry.
the eye thing is the eye shots where they show Frank's silhouette over the eye.
Yeah.
At the end, like right before the turbine crashes in on Donnie Darko, they show the drawing of the eye that he has in his room, and in that same eye, right where the impression would be, there is a skull inside the iris. If you noticed,
Yeah.
so like, was that supposed to be like a symbolism for
The
Frank
whole thing. I'm
being
pretty sure.
death or
I'm pretty
something?
sure if you paused at all the eye shots, you would get like 100 different references that we haven't even
Yeah, there's
touched
also
upon
like
here,
this
because it's just filled with stuff.
Matrix type. There's this Matrix type like wall of letters, like simulation kind of thing.
Yeah.
that comes
I wanted to
at the
stop and
beginning.
read that shit once, but it was just going by too fast. And like, you know what, I'm not going to stop just for this and just enjoy the movie and then probably look into this later.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
the other thing is Donnie, it seems like he has accepted the role of God in his life, because he first mentions that God can control your own destiny. Like, God controls your destiny, you can't do shit to control it. And then you see him like trying to figure out how to change whatever is happening. He's not successful, and in the end he's just like, I accept it, whatever, just come get me, like I'm done, ha ha ha, I die. And it's also in response to a psychiatrist who is talking about how he's like, it's absurd that you die alone, everyone dies alone, I don't want to die alone, he says
Yeah.
that. But in the end he dies alone because there is no one else who can share that weight with him, but he's doing it for the good of everybody else, is what he finally comes to terms with. So there's a possibility that if there is a God in this universe, Donnie has just been like, okay, it's up to him, I don't know what to do anymore. And he basically also, finally the plane itself, that it said that there are 3 planes, okay, like 3 turbines, one that fell in reality in the primary universe, okay, which caused the rift. So there's a second one in the tangent universe, and then there's the one which is attached to the flight in the end of the tangent universe.
Yeah.
So Donnie, in the end, what happened? Oh yeah, sorry. One point before that,
Artifact, right?
he says he says Deus ex machina over there, right? And
Deus ex machina.
so
God
what
machine.
happens is it's basically something that comes out of nowhere and helps you, right? That's what it's supposed to mean.
Basically,
but here he doesn't mean that this car coming and hitting Gretchen and scaring away the bullies is actually a sudden way out for him. He's literally talking about how it's God's plan to actually keep him alive and cause the problems that will happen that will make him want to accept his own death. So he basically says, "Wow, he's like super confused."
No, I'm actually I'm trying to keep up anyways.
Yeah, so the car that comes in, there's no reason for him to say, like, no director is going to be like, haha, you know what, this is totally an asshole, but let me just say it's an asshole, so it's okay. So he's actually like talking about God's plan. He's like, this is the plan. And then he sees Gretchen die. He's like, shit, I understand. I need to stop this shit now.
Yeah, it's like the popular another theory, right, where Donnie is like the representation of Christ, like a lot of people say.
Yeah, but I can see why they think that, because Donnie is technically chosen by God, but I don't really think he's like that.
Also, the bunny thing, they're like, the bunny and like Christ came back on Easter and like Easter bunny, so people are relating it that way. I don't see the Christ thing too, but a lot of people.
Yeah, the Christ thing is weird. Like, I can see how there are a few similarities
like
in the way they've taken things.
Himself,
for everybody else.
So.
Exactly.
The religious connection is very much there. It's not exactly disproven because on 2 instances they do say that God is very much present in the whole scheme of things. And like the psychologist, she says that he is agnostic, he's not an atheist. And when he's speaking to the male teacher, I forgot his name, he was basically saying teacher. That the science teacher, he was basically saying that wormholes are a thing that do exist and people can time travel using those wormholes, but theoretically, but then more often than not, it's supposed to be an act of God, so to speak, to create the same wormhole itself. So and he doesn't really emphasize more on that same point itself. He just says like, I can't really go further on with this conversation because otherwise I'm going to lose my job. Like, I mean, you got this far, so you might as well just carry on with it.
My God.
I saw a lot of this also where people thought it's like the prequel to like the Matrix, basically.
Oh my God.
The simulation thing. Like,
my God.
The one who goes before
Donnie Darko is Neo. God damn.
Before Neo apparently.
Oh, okay.
Try to break the simulation.
My God.
And Neo just follows in his footsteps.
Powers are the same. Neo has like super strength and like telekinesis and stuff. So people connected that way. They like the Oracle in Matrix is like the Grandma Death, possibly. People take such angles. The thing is, like, in the beginning when the film, it was a big flop, right? And later on, like, people started talking about it, became like cult classic, and now like people like it. Like, people were like, "Oh, this film is like."
Yeah, but it's still a cult classic. It's not like
it still is,
widely accepted, I would say.
And see, you can understand why it was a flop in the beginning, because people were like, "What the fuck?"
Confused as shit. Yeah,
small brain for that shit.
But then over the years, I guess.
Yeah, and also the other thing that Donnie had to do was in the end use his telekinesis to be the reason that the turbine or engine just came off the flight, and then he sends it back in time. So that is like his using the last of his, like the one remaining power, which is shown in the text also. So you have controls water, fire. He has different hallucinations. He has strength, and he finally has telekinesis, which he uses to tear the plane asunder, so to speak. I mean, so the thing is, like, because nobody in the primary universe is affected by all this, he can crash the whole plane and there'll be no problem at all to what happens. So even if his mom and sister die in that plane crash in the tangent universe, it'll, like, before they even die, it'll rotate back and go back to the primary universe. So there should be no problem at all over there.
Yeah.
And
which we did see in the end.
Yeah, and yeah, when we do see, so it all starts. It all starts going. Oh, we have a comment on Reddit. Zay Lebowski says, "I really need to watch this movie again. I haven't seen it in years." Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
okay,
for
we're on a
sure.
huge delay on Reddit, but or you could just say we're on a delay, but we are reading comments, and I'm glad you
yeah.
felt like watching the movie again. Yeah. Anyway, so he also writes to Roberta Sparrow in the end, right? I have the quote here. He says, "I can only
He
hope
does,
the
yes.
answers will come to be in my sleep. And I hope that when the world comes to an end, I can breathe a sigh of relief because there will be so much to look forward to." So he knows, by this point, he knows. He's like, okay, basically, I'm stuck somewhere. I need to make sure that this happens for me for everyone else to survive. I'm screwed. Like, there's no way out of this for me. I'm going to die. But with my death, everyone else is going to be safe. And he feels extra like that because he's like, shit, okay, Gretchen is going to die. So the Gretchen's death is what boosts him forward to make him feel like he should change what's going on. And yeah, there's also the other. Hold on. Are you there? Yeah, there's also the other stuff which is.
What happened?
No, I was looking at my notes. Gretchen says Donnie Darko.
Fucking hell,
It sounds like a
notes.
superhero name, and there are like a lot of places where
Yes.
yeah, he counts himself like a hero. He counts himself like a savior,
does.
so to speak. He even has that poem which he's reading out where he's giving himself a lot of credit with doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of comments about that. So the same thing which happens in what I told you before, which is like the primary universe. What happens is once these people have that regret and the emotional this thing, you can see Jim Cunningham, he cries like crazy and apparently commits suicide later. It's because of the
Yes.
regret he felt when he comes back to the primary universe after the tangent universe collapses. And of course, his family is devastated. Everyone around him, everyone who had an emotional reaction has a better idea of what's going on, or they change their lives in some way. So by Donnie sacrificing himself, not only did he save their lives, not only did he ensure that they would go on, he also ensured that like they would have better lives, so to speak, or something would change. So he enacted a lot of change
Yeah,
instead of
basically.
just saving
It
them.
was a sacrifice
Yeah.
for good.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's
Grandma
why-
Death would have like a huge role to play in like after this, right? She could just like come up to the door and be like, yeah, you know what? I got a story to tell about this shit.
No, but she can't know because she's also in the tangent
Yeah.
universe and goes back to the primary universe.
Yeah. They have no memory of this. The
Also-
only one
also-
who did is not dead.
Yeah.
Is dead basically.
Yeah, but imagine even if the lady death was like grandma death was like, yeah, you know what? Here's what happened to Donnie. This happened to me a long time ago. Guys, believe me, I'm like this old woman who everyone thinks is already crazy, but believe me, this fucking plane engine fell down. Okay. And you guys went into like this tangent. They'll be like, yo, get this shit out of here. I don't give a shit what she's saying. Fuck
Get out
her
of here.
mental piece of
That's
ass.
the closest mental institution. Yeah. No, but the
Yeah.
thing is, even if you see time travel movies, it's a pretty unique like concept, pretty different compared to like normal time travel movies that you see. That's why I really like it, you know. If you see like even if people who don't see it as a time travel movie, it's also like really interesting. I don't see it as horror, but horror aspect, so to say.
Yeah, well, first time I saw it, I got
horror.
freaked out a couple of times because of the jump
Yeah.
scares.
Yeah. No, I think when you see Frank for the first time, it is like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Unnerving,
right?
yeah, you don't really
Yeah.
know what to think. Huh?
Because like second watch, you see Frank, you're like, yeah, okay, cool. You know,
Yeah.
could understand it. But the first time is like, what the fuck am I watching? So like the first watch, I think for Donnie Darko is really important, you know, because you really experience, you know, the intensity, the horror and everything along with the whole like time travel overlay on the film, so to say.
Yeah, but like, I'm going to be very honest. Like the jump scares where he's in the movie theater, Frank is in the movie theater, suddenly sitting next to them, and then there's like sudden things he shouts out. I'm basically shat pants. Or like, no fucking way am I watching this movie ever again. But then, thankfully, they stopped the jump scares as much. And okay. Look, I'm a reasonable person. Okay, I don't think ghosts are real. I don't think dead rabbit people are real. But God damn it! Even if you throw a jump scare at me with I don't know, McDonald's clown, I'm still going to be very fucking freaked out
that
because a
shit is
jump scare
McDonald's
is a
clown is
jump
fucking
scare.
creepy.
Ronald
Oh.
McDonald is very scary.
What is something not scary then?
Audi.
That's very scary. You could pop a unicorn in front of me and I'd still get scared because I hate jump scares.
Dude, unicorn would be like, what the fuck is a unicorn doing here? Maybe,
No, I'd be like, whoa,
Calvin.
okay, what the fuck is that? Is a unicorn? That's what I would do. I would still get freaked out at the start.
Calvin. Oh no, Calvin would still be like, what the fuck, Hobbes.
Yeah, hopes, yeah, sure. Even if my dog scared me, I would probably get scared. That's true. And I was very scared during the first watch of the movie. I was like, nope, are you going to show me that fucked up face again? Nope. Yeah. And finally, of course, finally, my favorite part of the entire fucking movie is Mad World playing in the background as everybody's crying. And can the lyrics get any better? The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever
I
had.
choked on my own saliva.
Oh my god, don't I sit. But yeah, the dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Sid died. Oh, okay.
Sid was dying.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was a
still
fan
had
of the
heard
song before.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same.
And I really loved the song before, okay? But then after watching it in that, it became like my favorite version. I preferred the Tears for Fears
Gary-
version.
Oh, the Tears for Fears. Okay. This one
I
is
think that-
Gary Jules, right?
Yeah, this one is Gary Jules. I don't know when the Tears for Fears one was made.
Yeah, I don't know too, but like I knew me and Brew, we used to talk about like this song a lot, right? Mad World, and I'm like, damn, I know what I must show Brew this movie just because the ending is this song.
Yeah, I mean,
I had planned
god
that.
damn it. The ending was freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. Odi, what do you think about the ending? This is
The
important.
ending was, again, at the time it was mind blowing because I didn't really think too much into it because I thought it was all schizophrenic thing. But then they do show that when I saw everyone, kind of regretting their action, I was like, they did mention of people sort of feeling a weird sense of regret after the universe collapses and whatnot. So I'm like, does that have anything to do with it? Honestly, I was a bit confused and didn't really understand the ending. But well, now with the whole, the parallel universe theory being opened up is like, okay, that does make sense.
So basically, we can be confident that we explained this properly because Audi didn't say that we were talking out of our ass even once.
Nope.
Oh yeah, do you think that, Odi? What do you actually ask, bro? That's a good thing to ask him. Do you
What?
think we're bullying all this while?
No, not really.
Yo, it's
See,
just a
everything made
schizophrenic
sense.
movie. What the
Everything
fuck are
made
these
sense
boys
because
saying?
I did actually watch the movie and I actually saw like all the elements of the movie. Like,
So are you implying that you didn't watch Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
No,
Or
I didn't
you-
watch Clockwork Orange, but then at the time I was just trying to grasp it in some way or the other. I don't know, like I was trying to grasp it in my own way perhaps, and I probably did. Here
I don't know what you just said. I don't know.
I mean, but yeah, it's very interesting to know that. We have Epona. Okay, that's not ours. Okay, thank God. I read it went to somebody else and somebody. Okay, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent Mix 135, one of the best movies ever. Yes, Audi, please let Excellent Mix 135 know that we do think it's one of the best movies ever.
Yes.
Really fucking good. And just there's still a lot of lag.
It's a
So
classic, and I haven't seen any other Richard Kelly movies. Like I'm not not a fan of the director and follow since, but I've only seen Donnie Darko, which is amazing. Donnie Darko is a
and
classic.
isn't this supposed to be his debut film as a director?
Is it?
I
I
think
think
so.
he's made films before Donnie Darko.
What? One sec. What? I
Do you
think
know
it was his
about S.
debut.
Darko, by the way, bro.
What do I know about?
S.
S.
Darko, it's a
Darko.
show apparently.
S. Darko.
No.
What the fuck? I'm choking on something.
Okay. What is S. Darko? When you can say that, let me know.
It was a show that came after
Was it a
Donnie
show?
Darko. It is a show, I think. That's what
I
that's
thought
what
it
I
was
saw.
like a sequel kind of thing. I don't know. I never saw it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, Donnie Darko was Richard Kelly's first movie.
It's about Donnie Darko's little sister Samantha. I'm reading it here, and her friend Corey are on a cross-country road trip, but soon find themselves entangled in a dangerous glitch in the space-time continuum.
Yeah, there you go, Adi. There's all the proof you need. They literally based the second one on a
Yeah.
space-time glitch.
So it's a sequel. It's a 2009 sequel of
Damn.
the film, which I haven't seen. I don't know. And
Yeah,
not
even I
many
haven't
people.
seen it.
And it has a 3.6 out of 10. Even though ratings don't matter, it's still interesting, I guess, because
Yeah. Well, Donnie Darko has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb, 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 71 on Metacritic.
yeah. So I think
And yeah,
this
it-
Darko was really bad because no one talks about it, and even we haven't seen it. We haven't wanted to see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Darko has a reindeer this time instead of the bunny. They switched it up.
Makes sense, I guess.
Hmm.
You really need a
The reindeer
animal
man.
for some reason.
Yeah, and even but I think like Jake Gyllenhaal did a really good job.
Yeah, damn.
With-
And even Maggie
Even his
Gyllenhaal is on
sister,
it.
yeah, Maggie
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
I was like shocked to know that they both were like
Yeah,
actually brother
right.
and sister. Like their rapport is very interesting. Like you can see that they both like hate each other but care for each other at the same time.
The brother-sister dynamic, you can
Yeah.
relate.
What, they were brother sisters? I didn't even know this. Whoa.
Yeah, they're real life brother and
Real
sister.
life, yeah.
Damn.
Audie's mind gets blown every
Wait,
talk
was
about.
It is
this
odd
also-
seeing them like this now because now I'm associating them with the movie itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense, I guess.
How many movies did Jake Gyllenhaal act in before Donnie Darko?
Or I have no clue. So,
Was he big even before Donnie Darko? Or did Donnie Darko was that his like main shot to fame, so to speak?
Here.
If it is, then first time director and first time actor is just insane.
No. He worked on around 5 other
Okay.
films before Donnie Darko.
But still, for the debut film, Richard Kelly did an amazing job.
Yeah, Richard Kelly actually did a really good job. I haven't seen any of his other stuff, but
Yeah, but
Judge
like,
it upon Donnie Darko.
imagine coming out with a banger like Donnie Darko right at the start, and your entire career is just like dead because you can't live up to other things.
yeah, I think that's basically what happened, right? Because
Maybe.
no one talks about Richard Kelly apart from Donnie Darko.
That's
he's
true.
never mentioned apart
Yeah.
from her. At least I would say,
But he
because
will
I haven't
always
seen any
be
of his
in
other
our
movies.
hearts.
And he wrote it. It's a
Yeah,
film
he
he
wrote
wrote
it,
and
yeah.
directed, which is crazy.
He's ballsy. Like this type of movie, or maybe because Donnie Darko was considered trash when it came out, he probably lost the chance to work on more movies, on a scale as big as this. But
Actually,
then once
he's
it picked
directed
up,
only 5 films in his life.
I
And
see.
Donnie Darko was his third one.
What
Now
it
that
says,
I
Donnie
checked.
Darko was his first one.
So he made a short called The Goodbye Place. Then he has a film called Visceral Matter.
But were they
I've
like
never
proper
heard of.
films, or
No,
were they
even
just?
This is a short, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
So
the
two
Donnie Darko
shorts.
was his first film,
First
like
feature.
proper.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
insane. Like, you get money and you put out something that respect
That
to the
is
guy,
pretty
dude. Like,
insane.
it's not
Yeah.
something you can just do easily.
And I heard Drew Barrymore, who played the teacher Audie, she invested I forgot how many millions. She invested some amount of money in his film.
Oh, goddamn.
I don't know if it's a million. I think it's some 200,000 or something. But she invested because she really liked it. I heard.
That's
also-
a very star-studded cast, yeah.
Adi, could you reply on Reddit? Excellent mix 135 says the ending is even better on the director's cut version. You see a lot more of what happened in his room. I'm just going to reply on video anyway in case it catches up. Yeah, we did watch the director's cut. I've not seen the theatrical version at all. And when you're psychotic, you can still have meaningful experiences and spiritual experiences. It doesn't make you crazy. It's enlightening. Okay, so I've dealt with some weird problems like that as well, and I have nothing spiritual for me. More like me just getting worse and worse at recognizing what was going on in life. But yeah, I mean, if you had some good experiences, that's really good. Glad you could have that and not scary experiences. And thank you for joining and talking. We appreciate it. Okay, Audi,
Yeah.
did you note all that? Did you note all
Of
that,
course, yeah, I'm
secretary?
going to say that Bro is responding in a moment or two. Yes.
Yeah. So Well, that's pretty much what we
Yes.
have on Donnie Darko. If you guys
Yes.
want some additional photos, I have a lot, but I don't know what will.
Hmm.
Oh wait, here we go. I can put this one up to just remind Audie as well. It's the one which talks about the people the manipulated living who come back to
Oh, here's
the.
something interesting. I just looked it up just so we can talk about it like properly, not just the stuff. So, like differences between the theatrical and the this thing.
Yeah. One sec, just a second. So
Yeah.
this one says, when the manipulated awaken from their journey into the tangent universe, they are haunted by the experience in their dreams. Many of them will not remember, but those who do remember the journey are often overcome with profound remorse for the regretful actions buried within their. I'm assuming that's a subconscious. I don't remember what it said,
Yes.
but yeah, basically, so they will be haunted by the experience. They will still have memories of it, but they will think it's dreams. They won't know that it is something that actually happened in a tangent universe. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Oh, so, yes. So in the original version, when Donnie first begins to witness the liquid spear coming out of his chest, the spear moves across the room, turns back towards him, and forms a large sort of finger and beckons him to follow.
Wow.
But in the director's cut, that does not happen. He
Yeah, it
follows
just
it.
keeps
Yeah.
flowing. Yeah.
And the soundtrack.
Wait, is there a link you
obviously-
can share with me so that I can put this up so other people can read along if
It's
they want to?
just sure. Yeah, you put it up. Here you go.
There I go.
And also apparently this thing there are some things here that oh damn, apparently in Frank in the cinema says I am so sorry, which is missing in the director's cut, which I don't
What?
remember.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. And yeah, a lot of scenes have different music. It talks about that. It talks about like all the things that are different in the alternate version. It's a huge list. I'm just like browsing
Yeah,
through it
I
and
don't
seeing
think
what
I can
missed.
show this. This is
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, it's too much, that's why. But
I just put the link on
like
Reddit.
there are lots of small things also, like here it's written in the director's cut, Gretchen is now heard saying fuck him while flipping the bird at Seth and his friend after Donnie warns her, and apparently that doesn't happen in the theatrical version. So like I think those are just deleted scenes that were
Or maybe he thought against it because of certain things. Because like he might have just looked at it in retrospect and been like, I can improve this, I can improve that.
Yeah.
But this is very interesting though. There are a lot of differences.
There are lots. Also, there's a like at the end of Cherita's dance, like they say, "Get off the stage, you suck," right? Which is not heard after she's done with her dance.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So they have actually gone by minutes and done the whole thing.
Yeah, I haven't read all of that, but I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, but I can see here that the extra information from the director's cut really makes a huge
Yeah,
difference.
it makes a huge difference. It basically explains what people were confused about, and I think like after 2001, the film maybe people were confused. So like Richard Kelly himself is like, cool, I'll make the actual version.
What, like a Thanos meme? I'll do it myself.
Yes, I'll do it myself. Kind like what they did for the Justice League movie, I guess, which I haven't seen the 4-hour
Or
director's cut.
the Snyder cut.
Yeah,
the infamous
Snyder
Snyder cut.
4 hour,
which
goddamn.
people love, but I haven't gotten time to see 4 hours of Justice League yet.
Well, I am not. I never watched Justice League even when it came out.
It was a terrible film.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that a lot.
I loved the cartoons as a kid, the Justice League show, but the film was oof.
Yeah, that shit. Some bangers.
But yeah, that's it. Let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think about Donnie Darko, especially. Yes, we have a subreddit on Reddit where anyone can come and make a post, tell us what you think, tell us if we suck or if we don't suck, and we have a YouTube channel which you can also find us on. We basically just search Nandemo, and you should be able to get it. Nandemo podcast, and you should be
Nandemo
able to
podcast.
get it.
Yeah.
You can join us on YouTube. You can join our Discord. All our links are on our YouTube, and you can subreddit r/Nandemo.
Also, You boys are coming tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Well, most likely.
Most likely.
Should I schedule it or no? Because
Let's
I won't
go.
be able to do it because
I'll schedule
in
it
the
if something
morning.
happens. I'll
Yeah.
just copy paste whatever information has to be done and I'll just name it
I'll
something.
make the thumbnail and send it to you at night then.
Yeah, just keep the thumbnail as a backup, but we're not sure if we'll be back tomorrow.
I don't
So
know if I'll have to probably go out and do like shopping
Yeah.
and shit towards the end. So
three of us
there's-
won't be back for a podcast for the next week. So there'll be only
So-
Half a
two on
weekish.
one and then two on the other.
Yeah, so me and Brew for Week 101 we are doing Homunculus possibly, and
Possibly.
for Droogs we are
Tomorrow.
doing Fear and Loathing, right?
No, I want Audie to watch Fear and Loathing.
Okay. We'll do something else. What should we do, Brew? You tell me.
Let Audie choose the movie.
No, for the one
Something
for
that
the
I
one
can't
he won't
watch.
be there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
Well,
for the one we're doing when he's
Full
out
Metal
with-
Jacket.
I've already seen that, so yeah.
Let's space out of like Kubrick because I want Audie's this on Full Metal Jacket too.
Okay, works. Well, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of movies, I guess. You have to tell me.
So many, I don't even know.
Sid is like the 99% in movies for us right now. He knows literally everything.
You want to do a Jim Jarmusch film?
How about we do a Ghibli film and we make Audie feel left out?
Hey, you want to do a Jim Jarmusch film or what?
Sure,
Jim
anything is
Jarmusch.
fine with me. I can watch it. I can read it.
Or
Okay, you know what? We'll decide and we'll put it on our Discord. And you guys can join in because Sid is not going to make a decision anytime soon.
Yes,
But
I'll take-
thank
take me
you
a
very
while.
much for joining. We appreciate everyone who commented, especially Reddit. Thank you because
Thank
you
you.
guys commented. Our YouTube regulars let us down today by not saying anything. Like you literally did say anything. But either way,
Maybe
thank
they
you for
just have
joining.
No idea what we're talking. They're like, what is a Donnie Darko?
Yeah, makes sense. I'm kidding. I still appreciate you guys sticking around. Thank you for joining. Subreddit Nandemo /Nandemo and YouTube channel Nandemo Podcast. You can find us everywhere and tell us what you think or make suggestions and we will listen to it. But that's it for today. So we shall see you in a couple tomorrow or in a few
Possibly.
days. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye bye.
Happy Diwali. Yeah.
Yeah, happy Diwali, of course.